The days blurred into a series of routines, the echoes of a quiet life punctuated by the click of my camera shutter. My name is Daniel, a photographer in my 30s, living with my lovely wife, Emily. We were high school sweethearts, and now we share a home filled with warmth and understanding, a haven from the chaotic labyrinth of my mind. Schizophrenia had been my companion for years, a discovery made in my early 20s. That period of my life was a nightmare, riddled with insanity. But now, its presence has been held at bay for years by a careful cocktail of medications and therapy. Emily stood by my side, every step of the way with unconditional love and support. As I immersed myself in my work, capturing moments frozen in time, an unsettling disquiet began to take root. I would wake up to find small scratches on my arms and traces of blood under my fingernails, as if fragments of the night had slipped through the crevices of my consciousness. A disconcerting sense of unreality clung to these moments, but I brushed them aside, attributing them to the stress of my profession. One morning, after a night fraught with whispers that danced on the edges of dreams, I discovered my camera on the kitchen table. Its LCD screen displayed a series of gruesome images, faces contorted in agony, eyes vacant and lifeless. The knot in my stomach tightened as I scrolled through the photos. They were pictures of clients I had photographed mere days before. The weight of guilt and confusion pressed down on me. How could I be the architect of such horror when my intentions were to capture beauty? Panic welled within me as I grappled with the evidence laid bare on the screen. In my desperate attempt to erase the nightmare unfolding within my mind, I deleted the photos, praying that, by erasing the evidence, I could erase the reality they portrayed. The thin veil between my grasp on reality and the spiraling descent into madness grew thinner. Days turned into weeks. I am noticing more and more scratches and blood, each mark a haunting reminder of my fractured reality. I became adept at hiding the evidence, concealing the wounds that appeared as if by magic. The photos continued to materialize on my camera, each click of the shutter a malevolent echo of my deteriorating sanity. One evening, the air in our home felt charged with an unsettling energy. I could hear a noise downstairs. I looked over to my beautiful Emily, who remained sound asleep. I got out of bed and I descended the staircase. The kitchen light flickered, casting shadows that danced on the linoleum floor. I walked into the kitchen, and there, at the kitchen counter, stood a hooded figure, an intruder rummaging through our house. He must have heard me because he immediately stopped and turned to face me. Panic surged through me as I reached for the knife on my kitchen counter, the echoes of previous nights resounding in my mind. The figure looked at me, his face obscured by the hood. Time seemed to stop as we locked eyes, the air thickening with tension. He lunged at me, his intent to kill without question. I thrust the knife forward, the blade finding its mark with a sickening sound, again and again. The intruder crumpled to the floor, the hood falling back to reveal a shock of familiar chestnut hair.
"Daniel,"
she said, her voice shaking with fear and disbelief. As blood poured from her mouth, she took her last breath. I stood frozen, the knife slipping from my fingers as reality collapsed around me. My wife lay lifeless at my feet, her eyes teeming with terror. My beloved Emily. Horror and disbelief held me captive as the walls of our home closed in, the weight of my actions sinking in like an anchor, dragging me into the depths of despair. The police arrived, their questions a distant hum as I grappled with the fragments of my shattered reality. Emily's absence loomed over me, a specter haunting the recesses of my psyche. The photographs, once a canvas for my artistic expression, became a damning testament to my fractured mind. In the sterile confines of a psychiatric ward, I confronted the darkness within. The scratches on my body and the photographs of my dead clients were not delusions. They were manifestations of a mind unraveling. Memories flooded back into me, each gruesome murder that I committed like a dagger in my soul. Ultimately, my descent into madness robbed me of the woman I loved. As the days melted into a haze of therapy sessions and medication adjustments, I clung to the fragments of my sanity. The journey back to reality was a slow and arduous crawl through the wreckage of my own mind. The photographs, once a reflection of the world outside, now mirrored the distorted landscape within, a diseased mind.